Coming up on this edition of Carolina Insider. As vaccines roll out, see what Comet Transportation is doing to help the process of getting people to their shots. Gamecock baseball looks to build on a memorable weekend against the Clemson Tigers. But first, a new order from Governor McMaster has local bars returning to normal times. Carolina Insider starts now.
Welcome to this edition of Carolina Insider. I'm Dalton Mixon. Our top story today, the Department of Justice has named a new U.S. Attorney. Federal Prosecutor Rhett DeHart will serve as the U.S. Attorney for South Carolina. This comes after the resignation of Peter McVoy at the end of February. DeHart is a longtime prosecutor. He will serve as U.S. Attorney until a permanent replacement is chosen by President Biden. Many USC students will be happy to hear that Governor McMaster has permitted bars to return to normal closing times. The restriction required all restaurants and bars in South Carolina to stop selling alcohol past 11 p.m. to reduce the number of large social gatherings. With the restriction gone, popular drinking spots like Five Points have shifted to later hours. McMaster also lifted a restriction that prohibits over 250 people from attending an event or going to a venue. The lift on restrictions is something many bar and restaurant owners have been requesting since they were implemented back in July of 2020. The 11 p.m. curfew may be lifted, but bars are facing another obstacle. If passed, a new bill in the state Senate would require a business to earn no less than 51% of its gross revenue from the sale of food and non-alcoholic beverages. 11 out of the 15 bars in 5 Points would be in danger of losing their license. That's exactly what happened to Cover 3 in 2019. Although the bill has had continued support from many nearby residents, the bill is not popular with all. Michael Root is a musician for the rock and country band Palmetto Roots. He says the bill could be tough on businesses, especially during the pandemic.
It's places like this, smaller venues, kind of restaurant bar venues. So, without this, I wouldn't be playing at all. I went on tour a good bit before COVID, and now because of COVID, there's no big stages, It's more than just about the money and having a good time. It's really the connections that you can make.
Senate Bill 0388 has been sent to Senate Subcommittee for further discussion. This week, Johnson & Johnson received emergency approval for their vaccine, which is the third vaccine to be approved. 41,000 doses are on their way to South Carolina for people in need of transportation to the vaccination sites. I recently learned that Comet bus system is offering free rides.
The older population now has one less thing to worry about in getting their COVID-19 vaccine. Comet Transit Services is offering free rides for people who need to get their vaccine. Comet kicked off the Don't Miss Your Shot campaign in an effort to get vulnerable people who don't have transportation vaccinated.
Don't have a way to get to where they need to go. And as important as this vaccine is and the ability to get to the locations to receive it, the Comet felt it was part of our mandate to make sure that people had transportation.
The program is in partnership with Prisma Health and Lexington Medical Center. Senior Vice President of Operations at Lexington Medical Center, Roger Sipe, says partnering with public transportation is critical.
What everybody's realizing is that the riskiest or most at-risk population is who is not getting the vaccine right now. So partnerships with public transportation is critical.
South Carolina is currently in phase 1 of the vaccination plan and has given over 775,000 doses. Karen Mixon heard she could go down to Gamecock Park and get a vaccine without any appointment.
So guess what I did?
She went down there and got the vaccine the next day and could only describe the feeling as
Relief, and I felt more comfortable being around people.
Comet says this program will run through the end of 2021 with no real end date set. If you have any questions, you can call Comet's customer service at 803-255-7100, and a representative will help you.
Gamecock baseball had a memorable weekend against the Clemson Tigers last weekend and is looking forward to continuing their hot streak. Here with today's Garnet Report is Jackson Fields out at Founders Park. Jackson?
Thanks, Dalton. The Gamecock baseball team looks to continue their winning ways this weekend against Mercer. They've started the season 7-0 with 2 wins over rival Clemson last weekend. Wes Clark is powering the offense while leading the nation in home runs and batting average as of Tuesday afternoon. This weekend's series against Mercer is at home and will be broadcast on the SEC network. Back to you, Dalton.
That's it for this edition of Carolina Insider, a student production here in the Kennedy Greenhouse Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here next Wednesday.